For let I equal to 0, semicolon, I less than or equal to 9, semicolon, I plus plus, curly braces. Now this for loop will start at 0 and it will end at number 9. So the for loop is running for 10 times. We need 10 buttons from 0 to 9. So inside this for loop, we can write a code that will create a button. Let btn equal to document dot create element parenthesis double quotes button. Now we are creating 10 buttons, but we have to add these buttons inside the HTML page. We already have access to this div tag with the ID of number buttons. So inside this div tag, we are going to add the 10 buttons that we create using for loop. In this line, we have already access to the div tag which is having the ID of number buttons. In this final version, you can see each button is having the text content from 0 to 9. Console.log parenthesis I. We can see in the console the value of I is printed. We are going to add this I value to the button text content. btn dot text content equal to I. Number buttons container dot append child parenthesis btn. Finally, we got the 10 buttons inside the remote controller. Now we have to make the buttons inside the remote functional. To do that, we are going to learn a new concept called functions. You can see we have three console log here. These console logs will be immediately executed by JavaScript because they are in the global scope. When JavaScript run these console logs, it will also run this for loop. You can see the console log and the for loop has been immediately executed. This area inside the for loop is known as block scope. This is global scope. This is block scope. The important point to keep in mind is now the for loop is on the global scope. Console.log I is not in the global scope. It is inside the for loop. So it is inside the block scope. Now we are going to create a function. To create a function, you can just type function. You have to give a name for this function. It can be any name. I am going to give a name of print. Then you have to type a parenthesis and then curly braces. Now inside this function, we can write the code. I am going to type console.log hello hi. We can go and see in the console whether the string hello hi is printed. The string hello hi is not printed on the console. These console logs are coming from the global scope. We are seeing these console logs, but we are not seeing this console log. Why? Now what is happening here is whatever code you write inside a function that will be executed only when you call this function. To call this function, I can just type the function name and then parenthesis. When you type like this, you are calling this function. When you call this function, JavaScript will automatically execute whatever code that is inside the function. Now we can see hello hi is printed on the console. It is simple to say when you call a function, the code inside the function will run. If you don't call the function, the code inside the function will not be executed. Now I am going to create another function with the name of greet. Instead of calling this function print here in the line number 14, I am going to call this function print inside this function greet. Now guess what will happen? Whether this console log will work. We can see the console log inside the function print is not working. I am going to call this function greet now. Now you can see the code inside the function print has been executed. What is happening here? When I call this function greet, the code inside the function greet will be executed, which means the function print will be called. When this function is called, whatever code that is inside the function print will also be executed. So that is why when I call this function, you are seeing this console log. To make it very clear, we know very well JavaScript will execute the code line by line. So it will execute all these console log first, starting from the line number 1. Then it will run this for loop. So this console log will be executed. Then it will immediately come to this line number 18 and call the function greet. Then this function print will be called. When print function is called, this console log will be executed. I am going to create a function with the name change color. Inside this function, I am going to type document dot get element by ID parenthesis double quotes screen. When I call this function, we are going to change the background color of this div tag with the ID of screen. To make this code work, we have to call the function change color, then parenthesis. When you call the function, don't forget to add the parenthesis. If you are not typing the parenthesis, then you are not calling the function. We can see the div tag background color has been changed. You may wonder what I typed in this line. This line of code is very similar to these two lines of code. Instead of calling a function like this, we can call a function only when a button is clicked. We are going to call this change color function when this button with the ID of onBTN is clicked. I am going to delete this line of code. Then I am going to type onBTN dot add event listener parenthesis double quotes click comma then the function name change color. We are storing the button inside the variable onBTN. Then I am telling the JavaScript to listen for the click event on this button, which means if you click this on button, JavaScript will immediately run this change color function. The TV screen is now in black color. If I click the on button, the TV screen will become red color. The important point to keep in mind is when you type the function name here in this area, please don't add parenthesis here. If you add a parenthesis here, you are immediately calling this function. This function should only run when we click this button. But if you type like this function will be immediately executed by JavaScript. It will not wait till you click the button. Make sure there is no parenthesis when you type the function name inside the event listener. Alright, we are going to do a fun task to practice whatever we have learned till now in this video. This is the task we are going to do now. When I click this red color button, it will open an answer box. When the answer box is displayed, we are going to change the background color of the question box and we are going to change the text color of the question. Now I will click this red color button. Here you can see this is the output we have to create. Inside the DOM task folder, you will find a HTML file. Please open that HTML file on the browser and then go inside the JavaScript file. This is the red color button. So we have to access this button in JavaScript. This is the answer box. We have to display this div tag when we click the red color button. Currently it is hidden. This div tag is the question box. We have to access this div tag in JavaScript file to change the background color and the text color. Let reveal btn equal to document dot get element by id parenthesis double quotes reveal dash btn. Let question equal to document dot get element by id parenthesis double quotes question. Let answer equal to document dot get element by id parenthesis double quotes answer. All right, we have access to all the three HTML elements inside the JavaScript. When we click the button, we are going to listen for the click event. When the click event happens, we are going to run a function. That function is going to have a name of reveal answer. Function reveal answer parenthesis curly braces. For now, inside this function, I am going to write a console log. Reveal btn dot add event listener parenthesis double quotes click, reveal answer. When I click the red button, we can see the reveal answer function is running. If you see here, the answer box is having the default property value of display none. So that is why we are not able to see the answer box on the screen. If I change the property value to display block, now we can see the answer box on the screen. Instead of writing display block in CSS, we are going to do the same in JavaScript. Answer dot style dot display equal to block. The answer box is now hidden. When I click the button, we are going to change the property value display none to display block. See, now the answer box is visible. If I refresh the page, the answer box will get the default value of display none. When I click the button, we have to change the question box background color and the text color. Next, we are going to do that. Question dot style dot background color equal to pink. Question dot style dot color equal to double quotes blue. Let's click the button now. Here you can see answer box is visible, question box background color and text color has been changed. So we are done with the task. Now we are going to implement this in the TV project. We are back to the TV project. These are the codes that we typed till now. I am going to delete this code now. We typed these codes to learn add event listener. Now we have to add the event listener to the 10 buttons 0 to 9 and make them functional. We know this for loop runs 10 times. Every time it runs, it is creating a new button tag and adding it to the HTML page. We are going to create a function with the name of button click. This function is going to console log clicked btn dot add event listener parenthesis double quotes click button click. Let's see what is happening. When I click any button from 0 to 9, the function is running. The important thing to keep in mind is the for loop is running 10 times, so it is creating 10 buttons. All the 10 buttons will be connected to this event listener and the function button click. So that is why when I click any button 0 to 9, this function button click is running. You can see here, I have added the I value inside the console log. Now I am going to click the button 0. You can see the console log is printed as clicked 0 because this button 0 is created during the value of I equal to 0. When I click the button 1, you can see the console log of clicked 1 because this button 1 is created during the value of I equal to 1. When I click the button 2, you can see the console log is printed as clicked 2 because this button 2 is created during the value of I equal to 2. The same logic is applicable to all the buttons from 3 to 9.